Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hello.
This is a small unit, just enough to carry the troops out, the regular infantry of my Soviet army, into battle, of GAZ 4x6 trucks. These are one of the first Russian units I got.
Yeah, what's so, fine? We must be on top of the top.
Yeah. These are quite fun. They're handmade out of pieces of wood and milliput, so they were quite fun to put together. Because we're doing early war, we're using Russian-built trucks, the GAZ. Later war, you tend to find a lot more American-built trucks in the Russian army. Very useful. Probably the most useful thing the Americans gave to the Russians during the Lend-Lease program were the American Dodge trucks. Possibly because it seriously helped the Russians move their logistics. Trucks, an army runs on fuel and ammunition and food, and the way you keep an army moving is by having massive lines of trucks carrying food and stuff to the front line. The German army, for the most part, had to rely on horses and carts. So the Russians, being given massive amounts of trucks by the Americans is very useful. The Americans also gave the Russians armoured tanks, most of which the Russians thought the Americans were taking the mickey of them with. They didn't particularly like the American tanks and tended to throw them away in battle. But it was still a good contribution that the Americans made. So these are just our trucks for bolt action. They're just standard trucks. They just do what trucks do. So the card for the truck is probably the least interesting card that we actually have in the army. All truck cards are pretty boring. It's boring. It's a truck. It doesn't do anything else other than be a truck. But you can't really have an army without trucks. Although in bolt action you don't need them per se, because you are fighting skirmish games. You could get away with saying trucks drop.
Until you campaign.
So trucks, they come in handy, yeah. Although my experience with trucks is my men tend to get shot up while they're in a truck. So...
Oh, they got out, they just got out and then I don't machine them.
Yeah. So that's where we are. And
that was the first time I've used a truck.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Oh, that was my Chinese, wasn't it?
It's your Mahadi troops.
Ma
troops, yeah.
I'm motorised infantry, or closest the Chinese get to motorised infantry.
As soon as they got out the vehicle, not machine gunned.
Yeah, and they basically spent the rest of the game hiding behind the truck during the battle. But yeah. So these are just your bog standard trucks. So there's not really a lot to say in this video. I will go into how I made them if you want. The back is entirely made out of wood. So it's actually made out of balsa. The front part's made out of milliput, as with the rest of the vehicle. It was easy to make. It didn't take too much time and effort. And I didn't really spend a lot of time doing them. But, they're trucks. They're just throwaway vehicles. So that's really the end of all I've got to say about it. You?
It's a truck.
Yeah.
That's my question. It's a truck.
As my trusty sidekick said, in bolt action, trucks are very handy for getting your troops into battle. Oh, another interesting point on trucks is you use 2 order dice with them.
Yeah, you do.
So you have an order dice for the troops inside the truck and an order dice
for the truck.
Yeah, for the truck, which is very useful.
So the truck can move and your infantry can get out at the exact same time.
Well, not at the same time, because there's 2 order dice.
But I mean the exact same turn.
Yeah. So it's quite useful in... so you can actually... The unit isn't moving and then runs out of its move. It can actually move and then disembark and fight. Yep. Which is cool. Although it does tie up one of your dice while you're driving around. Mm-hmm. So... you end up with a spare dice if you're not disembarking your troops on the truck.
So if your truck blows up with infantry in it, that's 2 dice you've lost, not 1.
Oh yeah, if you lose all your infantry, yeah. But your infantry do get a reaction, so your infantry can technically pile out and go down, which would be jumping out of the truck. Yeah, so you can just put a down order on the infantry inside the truck, and then they will basically be dismounted next to the truck, and there'll be that 1 point less to wound. So that's quite useful in a way of a very fast moving unit. Although I prefer cavalry. After using the Polish, I'm just going to put everyone on horses from now on. There's no point having trucks, they're silly. Right, so that is basically it. Yeah, I hope you liked the video, and over to my trusty sidekick.
So if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of the trucks and if you think they'll be good for your army.
Yeah.
That's everything from me.
And that's everything from him.
Bye.